Hi there, welcome to CBD and Essential Oil Talk Radio with Mark and Nikki. If you're looking for real information about how CBD and essential oils can have a positive impact on your life, you're in the right place. Coming up on the show today, Nikki's going to talk about her experience with a pile of ants that got after her.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I'm just sweet like that.
So, I don't know, did essential oil save your life?
They did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Coca Cola reportedly eyeing CBD as an additive. So who knows, right? They got into the bottled water industry. Who knows what they're going to do with CBD and whatever beverage. Maybe they're going to add it to their Coca Cola. We'll never know. New study out from the Journal of American Medicine shows public interest in CBD is growing at a phenomenal pace. Hello, that's kind of obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious, right?
Thank you for that.
All right, for those of you who are interested, we're diffusing patchouli, cypress, and orange essential oils in the studio today. So,
And if you haven't tried patchouli and orange together, it is amazing.
Is it really?
Yeah, it smells good and it's really nice. I wear it as a scent sometimes, and I just want to have that. I feel pretty.
You know, we were talking
That's like a perfume I use.
with Sherry Ross on our last show, talking about his winter season citrus essential oils, really good to be diffusing on a regular basis.
And you had asked me on that show, hey, does Michaela have some type of routine in the morning? I said, yeah, we diffuse orange. And it's exactly what she was talking about. So she really made me feel good. Like, I know what I'm doing now.
Well, you're like super mom.
I tell you, I guess so. So welcome to the show, guys. I was walking to the bus stop last Wednesday, right? I stepped in an ant pile, but I didn't know it until they were like, oh, it's a buffet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was miserable in no time. Like, I was there. It was one of those cold mornings. I popped off my flats. I was wearing flats, so just everything was exposed there, and started doing that little dance. And just the bus could not get there quick enough. So anyway, I got home probably within 5 minutes of being bitten by these. Do they bite or do they sting? I don't know.
I think they bite, but it stings.
They actually bite, yeah. But they were fire ants.
Oh, my God.
Remember it had rained?
Oh, yeah.
All
They all
these
pop
piles.
up.
Yeah, and I just walked right through it like I didn't know what I was doing.
Just thought I'd come and wreck your home.
I'm a home wrecker. My
No
gosh, that's
wonder
terrible. Please don't say that. So as soon as I got home, I reached desperately for one of these little roller balls that I tend to have laying around. And it just happened to be the itch stick. That's what I call it.
Okay.
And opened it up, put it all over them bites. And immediately, that itching feeling that you get was gone.
Okay.
So I feel like this is really what happened. I stopped the itch, which means I didn't start scratching it. Because usually I end up with these big welts and these painful little sores later whenever you get bit by a fire ant.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I didn't have that issue at all. I mean, like by the evening, this was around 3:30. So by 9:30, 10 o'clock that night, barely a little bit of red and it looked like a little pimple.
Did you keep applying it throughout the day or no?
I had put it on about 3 times.
Okay.
But I didn't scratch it. Therefore, I didn't open up anything and get infection in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, all right. So because I already had this ready, I think that's why. I mean, it was super fast. I didn't have to think, okay, what do I want to put on there? So let me tell you exactly what it is. On a 10 milliliter, a 10 ml, we'll just say that.
Sure.
Rollerball bottle, you're going to add 10 drops of lavender and 10 drops of tea tree. And you fill that with a carryover as needed. Now, here's a wonderful thing, right? This is the same recipe I've been using for years on my daughter. She gets these scaly, itchy red spots.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And this is something that we've used on her major in the summer when her skin decides to act up, but major in the winter. So with the upcoming winter, you're thinking, why do I need a bug bite stick or an itch stick? Have it handy, because if you are someone that, your skin starts getting itchy or red during the winter, this is perfect. Carry it around and you'll have it with you.
Does it have something to do with the dry air?
Maybe.
Because I've noticed that too sometimes. I mean, I don't get it very often, but wow, the itch stick. So what's in the itch stick?
So if you would have been listening.
I wasn't. Just tell me again. For our listeners who weren't paying attention.
10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of tea tree, and then you fill it with a carrier oil.
Okay. Well, that's easy.
I wanted to share a little something because this is kind of cool. Has nothing to do with what I'm talking about now, but I didn't want it to flee my brain, and you guys never hear this. So Michaela was at a birthday party this past weekend. And they put little tattoos on their face.
Okay.
Right? Super cute. Saturday night, she goes to bed. She washed her face. It didn't come off. Just is what it is. Sunday morning, hey, it's time for church. Well, you can't go with a mermaid tail on your face. That looks weird.
Why not?
So I put some oil, and I'm talking like coconut oil, just carrier oil, thinking that would wipe off. It didn't. So I put 1 drop of lemon oil on my thumb, And I gave it a quick rub around, and it was gone in seconds.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. So there's an awesome tips if you have temporary tattoos on your kiddos, for any reason.
Sure.
Just one drop of lemon oil, and it took it right off.
No, it's funny. On our Real Talk Radio podcast, in fact, we're going to be doing that later, but I got a story, and I'll just give you a little insight on it. But this lady, she puts a latex mask on. Well, she got it all up in her eyebrows, right? Didn't protect them.
Ouch.
So she's peeling the latex off, and it's peeling her eyebrow off with it. And as I'm looking at this, I'm like, lemon essential oil, right? Since you brought it up, if you put lemon essential oil on it before you start, ripping your eyebrow off,
yes,
then it can help soften that up. It's very, very good at breaking down those chemicals.
Yeah, it is.
To get it off without causing any damage to your skin. So anyway,
yeah, I gotta hear that. Why are you putting latex on your face?
Well, it's just a Halloween mask stuff. People do that for like zombie kind of stuff or whatever. Okay. There's actually some cool stuff where people are there's ways to hide your eyebrows, to make themselves look like cats or whatever they're doing.
I actually know how to do that. Is it weird? Yeah. And on our next Real Talk Radio show, I'm going to be a cat.
Oh.
Ears and everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward, Mark. He gets lost sometimes, guys. It's okay.
But that's part of the fun of the show. All right, so before we move on to the next story, let me plug our sponsor real quick. The San Antonio Empowerment Council has a big event coming up on January 18th. This is their first huge CBD and essential oil rally of 2020.
Yes.
Do I sound like Barbara Walters?
So 2020 is like going to be like Christmas is tomorrow, and then 2020 is the next day. I mean, it happens so fast.
It is. The keynote speaker for that event is going to be Marcella Von Harding. She's an awesome speaker. She has so much knowledge, whether it's CBD, whether it's essential oils. I'm super excited about her coming to visit. So for all the details on this and other event, we will be updating as we go along, as we know who else is going to be coming, what's the topics and stuff like that. We'll be keeping you guys informed if you're going to be in the San Antonio area. Just a little insight, I'll give you a little tip. We are looking at bringing our rallies to the internet, where folks will be able to actually watch. In fact, in the event that's going on for November 2nd, you and I are going to be doing a pre-show. Right, we're going to be interviewing our guest speakers, and then I want to look at doing a post show down the road and stuff like that. So we're really kind of making this a bigger event for folks that are all over the world that can't go to rallies but have access to the internet.
Because we have listeners in 32 countries,
37
now? 37 countries now.
37.
So we're going to be able to tune those guys in. They're going to be able to tune in to our rallies. I love it. So
the San Antonio Empowerment Council is very forward thinking in reaching the world and educating folks with essential oils. So anyway, you can learn all about this stuff. Keep up tabs on saecevents.com. All right, so let me go to my first story here. I almost said Mayor Bloomberg. I don't know why that, but so Bloomberg reported that Coca Cola has had talks with Aurora Cannabis, a Canadian company, to develop a CBD-infused beverage. So we remember Coca-Cola took advantage of the bottled water industry, right? They just that's Aquafina, right? Isn't that Coca-Cola?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So they really kind of, and in my opinion, they were a little late to the game on that. But they jumped in, and of course they did very, very well in that market. Well, CBD-infused water, CBD-infused drinks, all of that is going to be huge.
Right, but we still have the issues with labeling, right?
We do, and I think that this can actually work to our advantage. There's a lot of pressure on the FDA to get the laws updated to where, because CBD has been labeled as a drug, right? That's because of the whole,
marijuana plant.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, as a drug, as in for use for medicinal drug.
Yes, there you go.
That's how it's been labeled.
That's right.
So anyway, we'll get there. It'll just be a matter of time. So, but with respect to this story, the news reportedly resulted in little attention, but Warren Buffett, which I think is interesting, he owns 10% of Coca-Cola. How'd you like to own 10% of Coca-Cola and get that check?
Isn't that awesome?
Actually, I don't know if I'd want to support that company.
He also owns the real estate company I work for.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's real estate company?
Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay, here in San Antonio, right?
Yeah, well, all over the world.
Yeah, how long have you been doing real estate? I forget.
13 years.
Wow. Yeah. I know you're my realtor.
Thanks.
When I'm ready to buy a house or sell this one. So anyway, but Warren Buffett owns 10% of Coca-Cola. He is known to be a junk food junkie, right? He's addicted to junk food and drinks a whopping, guess how many Cokes per day he drinks?
Oh, gosh.
Just take a guess.
4.
He drinks 5.
Five
So
Cokes a
5
day.
Cokes per day he drinks. Now, I've heard that President Trump drinks a bunch of Diet Cokes every day,
Wow.
which I would hope he would stop with that because the excitotoxins in the sweetener there is not good for the brain.
This is very true.
But I don't know. Anyway, so but he shows very little interest in putting CBD into their beverages and stuff like that. But I think he'll catch the vision.
Well, it's education too, and he is an entrepreneur for sure.
Yeah, it's
right?
no joke.
So he'll see it. They've just got to show him the end goal. Here it is.
Maybe you should show it to him.
I will.
Does he ever come visit over there?
He does not.
No.
No.
Well, maybe
but
he should.
that doesn't mean he's not at our conventions every year.
Okay, you guys have conventions
every year.
Where at? In Vegas?
This year, 2020 is Vegas. Yes.
Oh, nice. Where was it last year?
Tennessee.
Okay.
Or not. Vegas. I don't remember. I didn't go.
Oh, you missed it. Anyway, so Americans are showing a strong desire for CBD, and a reported out of 1 in 4 of us have tried CBD at least once in the last 2 years. You remember when Coke, of course, got into the bottled water business? Well, they're going to move forward with this. It's just a matter of time before they do that. And, of course, it's not legal now. It's not legal now. The FDA does not allow. It's a federal violation to put CBD in beverages and food. So the gummies and stuff that folks are eating out there, the essential or the CBD infused coffee that's out there, the companies that are selling that, they're actually violating federal law. It's just something to think about. So, but it's fair to ask, could adding CBD to a soft drink, like Coke or whatever else, because we know what the CBD benefits are. They're huge when it comes to metabolizing or metabolism in the body, with sugar regulation, all that, kind of, glucose levels and all that. I mean, I've done a study on it.
It makes no sense when you think about it, though.
Well, but let's just talk about that for a second, because you know how THC, right? People that smoke marijuana because they want to get high because of THC content, they actually don't like a whole lot of CBD in it because CBD actually counteracts the action of the THC in the body. Okay. So that kind of negates the people who want to get high. They don't want that. But for folks that, they enjoy their beverages and they don't want to, they want to maybe support the body's systems with respect to how we're handling glucose and stuff like that in the body, it could offset that. Now, I know there's chemicals and stuff in Coca Cola and Pepsi and stuff like that that are not good for you, and I'm not advocating that, but I'm just saying that this could be something that is a benefit down the road for folks.
So let's think of all the sugar that's in a Coke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I just saw this at my daughter's school. There's like 28 tablespoons or teaspoons. I'm not sure which. It's 28.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess.
How many teaspoons in a tablespoon, do you know?
1.5.
No, it's 3.
No, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So there's a big difference.
No wonder everybody loves my cookies.
Oh, whoops.
They're so sweet. Oh, I just put 3 teaspoons or tablespoons in there. One of them. Anyway, that's a lot of sugar. And then you have the CBD combating that? Maybe it's levels the playing field.
I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but it doesn't necessarily combat or counteract sugar, but it's going to help the body's response to the introduction of all of this glucose into the body's system. But again,
you know what? When I eat sugar, this is just my brain working right now. When I eat sugar, I can tell because my bones hurt, my joints hurt later.
Oh, wow.
I get
inflammation.
That's what happens to me. But CBD has been able to help me with that.
Big time.
Big time. So if sugar causes your inflammation and CBD can help take away inflammation or benefit those with inflammation,
you can have your cake and eat it too.
You can have your Coke and eat it too. Or drink it too.
This is all I'm trying to say is what if I could enjoy my I grew up, I didn't grow up drinking Coca Cola, but
Coke.
I enjoyed them, right? I know they're bad. I'm not advocating the use of that. Please don't.
Coke float, come on, it's awesome.
Right, root beer float, so forth. But yeah, if we could just offset that. Now, ideally, we want to not drink those things and help the body recover and live above the wellness.
Nobody's
line.
Perfect.
But yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to be perfect. So anyway, we'll see what happens with all that. But of course, we know that as we're talking about, CBD is huge with inflammation, and that's what sugar is. You just said sugar was huge for inflammation in the body. So if we can help folks, with CBD, I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, time will tell. But the writing's definitely on the wall. CBD, it will be in just about everything you can imagine. I talked before in one of my other shows about how it's being infused into clothing.
Yep.
Yeah. So Crazy, but it's out there.
Oh, I remember the story, Mark.
Yeah.
For those that don't remember
Those stretchy pants or whatever.
No, it was a bra. It was a sports bra.
Oh, that's right. It was a bra.
Laced with CBD.
See, I don't even listen to myself when I'm
I
talking
know.
about these things.
I have a hard time doing it, but.
Before we get to our next story, I want to take a short commercial break. If you're looking for premium quality CBD or essential oils, go with a brand that Nikki and I personally use and trust, Young Living. So if you want to learn more about that, please reach out to us. And I would encourage you guys to text the word CBD to 210-910-4174. That's the word CBD to 210-910-4174. And we'll make sure that you get the right hookup so you can start learning about the power of CBD. You can get more information and details below or visit eotalkradio.com. All right, so a study in the Journal of American Medicine, the JAMA, Journal of American Medicine, shows public interest in CBD is accelerating across the U.S. According to research starting in about 2017, you can see how it just starts spiking up. Public interest in CBD is it's growing at a phenomenal rate, which, you know, as the media is covering this more, we're covering it more. We're in 37 countries. So, I mean, the word's definitely getting out there in your mainstream media.
We didn't need this to tell us that, right? You can just go drive from your house to, you know, your work or to the local grocery store, and you'll see a new one popping up on every corner. Yep. So we know this is happening.
Yeah, we're going to see. So my wife and I were having a pretty interesting conversation the other day about how the integrity of a company is huge, because labeling laws, and we cover this on our show, company labeling is all over the map, right? They're doing it wrong. They're mislabeling. They're misrepresenting. All of this stuff's going on. But it really goes back to the integrity of the company. So as a consumer of CBD, does the integrity of the company matter to you? Well, I think an honest answer is, well, it matters in that I get what they say that I'm going to be getting, right? So, but if they're mislabeling stuff, right? They're saying, oh, well, there's 1,000 milligrams, and you find out there's only 400 milligrams or 300 milligrams, then you're getting gypped, right? You don't want that. So a company when is it okay for a company, and I'm asking you this question, when is it okay for a company to violate rules or laws and still be okay with you to use that company?
Are you asking me that
I'm
question?
asking you the question, yeah.
Okay, ask me the question one more time.
Okay, so when is it okay for a company to violate laws or rules?
It's not okay.
Are you sure? I mean, because folks go and they buy products all the time, and they don't really care about what the label says on it. They just, okay, well, this is what the product says. I'm going to believe that it is, and then I get it. But they don't really look past that. And then if they're just like Johnson & Johnson, you know, they've been popped for a few things. They've been sued for a crazy amount of money, but yet people still go out and buy Johnson & Johnson. So I think it's fair to say people don't care all that much.
Well, some people don't.
Right. But for you care, right? So
I do care.
If a company is going to violate, say, federal law with respect to their products or services that they're doing, wouldn't that be an insight into the integrity of the company, and maybe they're lying about other stuff or breaking other rules? So this is the problem that I have with companies that are out there selling like CBD infused coffee, right? Which is federally illegal to do that. Okay, so if you're like HempWorks, for example, they sell coffee that's infused with CBD, just as an example. So that is a violation of federal law, because you're not allowed to have CBD. It's right on FDA's website with respect to CBD. You cannot have that as a dietary supplement or in a food. It's not legal. So if you're violating those laws about that, what else? You see, you don't care about.
Well, everybody else is doing it. I'm going to do it too. I mean, I feel like that's what the companies are saying.
Well, if they're even going that far, it might just be like, look, this is where the money is. Right. Let's go ahead and do it. But if they're willing to violate federal law on that, what else are they doing? And I've come across HempWorks distributors, right? They have no idea that it's illegal, right? Because they haven't done their homework on it.
Right.
And even when they do, they're like, well, everybody's doing it. It's like, well, okay, well, that tells me a little bit about the integrity.
If I jump off a cliff, are you too? Right.
Follow me off. So, you know, I'm not looking to beat up, you know, the other companies but that just shows me the integrity, which is very, very short-sighted. It's like, I'm in it for the money. I'm not really in it for the consumers, and I don't really care.
And you know when it's going to matter a lot to someone is when someone dies because of it, or something tragic really happens. And, you know, for instance, what if my child has a peanut allergy and she goes and she eats a cracker that was made in a peanut farm. You know what I mean? And they didn't say this was made in a peanut farm. This could contain peanut.
Or worse yet, they said this contains no peanuts in it.
There you go.
And
it did. And she had a seizure and died. I don't know. I'm going to the extreme here, but that's when it's going to matter, when somebody gets hurt and all this.
So I guess my question to our viewers is, does it matter to you? Yes or no? I mean, because if it does, if the integrity of the company matters, Young Living, the company that I have personally used since 2012, I've been to their farms, I've worked their process. They are very careful with their labeling. They work hand in hand with the FDA to make sure that everything is above the board. They really give back to communities where they build their farms and they do their interaction with the local residents and such. It's like it matters because there's longevity in that.
Exactly.
I didn't really expect this segment to kind of go off that far, but it's like, hey, it's important.
No, I mean, it is what it is. And that's what's important to you as just a person, but me as a mom, that's important to me.
Yeah.
And it's not just in the oils, the CBD. It's in the shampoos and the lotions and the makeup and the deodorants. I mean, all this is important to me.
The probiotic, the Mighty Pro, we were talking about in the last episode that your daughter takes, It's like if a company's going to cut corners, they're going to cut them someplace else, man.
Right.
I think that's how we ended up with the food crisis that we really have, because there's so many bad ingredients that make their way in our food because it's cost saving. It's more money to the shareholders or more money to the corporate execs or whatever. They really don't care about the quality of what they're providing that ends up on our plate or in our bodies, which is a real shame.
If you're with Young Living, stick with them. They're going to be here a long time.
Absolutely. And if you're open to checking them out, then we'd be happy to help with that. All right. So as we wrap up the show for this one, just a quick reminder to check out our latest podcast on all the usual podcast platforms, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, where we post videos of our show. There's links to everything you need to know in the details below. So that's it. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next show.
All right. Bye, guys.